Okay, great. Yeah, as Elvira said, the main important point for me is that I'm usually people hate that, but I like it. So if you have any questions, if you want to contest something that I might have said, please go ahead and unmute yourself and interrupt me. It's fine. I'd rather we talk about the things that are relevant to you than the things that I might have prepared and maybe are not really exactly what you're looking for. So I'm going to allow everyone to mention at one point or another where they are with e-commerce and social commerce, but that would be during the presentation. So yeah, let's get started. As you can see, I'm a big fan of Canva. I always have the same first screen that you see. So our topic today is about how to sell your products on social media. Okay, you'll see here that the two words that are in different colors are sell and social media, because it's not only about providing or showing your products on social media, but about completing the conversion, getting people to buy on these platforms. And this is primarily the focus of today's session. Now, I understand that Facebook stores, Instagram stores, TikTok, and all of these platforms might not have or are not open to all countries in terms of where the business is located or to export to different countries. But the idea is that we want to optimize. Maybe we don't have to do the complete conversion on social media, but we want to optimize the journey. So, and you will hear me say this a lot, to reduce friction. Friction is everything that might come in the way of people actually buying. Okay, so it could be that, let's say you are promoting your product to the US market, and in the US, for example, they are used to paying with PayPal. That means that if you don't have PayPal, that's a friction. That means they are less likely to buy from you. If that could be not only a question of payment, but it could be also a question of the consumer journey or the experience that they have. I'm gonna, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I'm gonna give you an example because it happened with me today with a very well-known Lebanese international fashion brand. So you see this post on Instagram. It's a very nicely designed video that is promoting the launch of their new summer something collection. Okay, you click on it, you have, of course, the pop-up at the bottom that says shop now. You click on it and you land on their Instagram shop. Except on the Instagram shop, the product that is being advertised to announce the launch of the collection is not present. So immediately, because I'm curious, because I'm in the market, I started looking and I opened their actual website and I looked for the collection and I didn't find that product. So that product is not part of their collection, or they didn't release it yet. But anyone else would just have went back to the ad and continue browsing. And of course, that somehow registers in the back of their mind that this is something unprofessional, because we're not talking about a very small business, we're talking about an international fashion brand. So I don't know what went wrong there. When I was, I mean, a couple of years ago, I would have sent them a message and said, this is unacceptable, or at least this is how a sure way to lose clients. But I don't know what the thinking was before, or what they were planning on doing, why the product is not there. But this is false advertising, and something that people will absolutely not accept from brands at this level. So it's not only, again, buying online, it's about trying to help you create the best experience that you can have for customers on this platform. So before we do that, I guess most of you already know me. I'm a digital marketing strategist, and I work primarily with small businesses and startups, and sometimes individual entrepreneurs. My specialty basically is to focus on customer acquisition, so how to get more clients into the funnel. You probably, if you've attended my webinars before, you will have heard me say funnel a lot of times. I also focus on content marketing, digital advertising, and growth hacking. So basically, all of the ways that you can get more customers, either in what we call push marketing or pull marketing. As part of doing this in a more systematic way, I've created an online platform. Some of you have already attended some of the cohort courses that are on there, but the idea is to help you really take the most advantage of these courses with live sessions and integrate that knowledge that you take from these courses on your business immediately. I'm going to send you the links. So someone sent it on chat, so I'm going to do that. If you want to connect elsewhere, this is where you can find me. And I'm going to stop talking about myself. It's not something that I really like to do, but everyone has to do it at some point. So what we will cover today is we're going to start with talking about the different aspects of social selling. So you have two things that most people get confused, which is social selling and social commerce. We will then talk about the social shopping landscape in 2023, which, as you will probably, as you might expect, is growing, and it's really going in a very upward trajectory. So it's important that for you, you jump on that opportunity, or you try to leverage the platforms that you have to be able to get more customers. Then we're going to talk about how to set up Facebook and Instagram shops. I'm not going to go through this step by step. I will send you a link that takes you through the step by step, but I will focus in this section to talk about some of the critical setups that you have to consider and the different payment options that you can have with Facebook and Instagram. And then we will talk about creating shoppable content for Facebook and Instagram. This is basically the core of the session. And then we were going to talk about a few, at least one main advertising strategy to sell on the same platforms. And we're going to look at examples of brands that are successful on social shopping. Now, I've added some example, but I will also send you another link that is from Instagram themselves, that you can look at the different campaigns that other brands have created by industry, by objective, and depending on which industry you are into, you might be interested in looking at your industry and not the fashion brands that I have in my examples. And finally, we're going to talk about selling on Pinterest. I understand this is not for everyone in terms of depending on what brand or product are you selling, but it's interesting because I believe everyone underestimates Pinterest and only uses it to brainstorm or to discover like things, renovation ideas that they want to do at home. So first, I want to ask you to type into the chat, but to answer who's currently selling on social stores. If yes, which platforms are you using? And if not, why not? And I'm going to stop here so we can look at or have a discussion. If you want, you can also unmute yourself and start talking. I just want to know where you are or what is the main issues that you have with social selling.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. Dan here.
All right. Hi, Dan.
Hi, I am selling on Facebook, primarily Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
And I recently started doing Facebook ads.
Ads, okay.
I'm also selling on WhatsApp for Business by having a catalog on my WhatsApp Business account.
Okay.
I do need to see if Instagram Shops is available in Zambia, as of 2022, it was not yet available. Okay,
yeah, they've recently changed a few countries on that list as well, so you might be interested to look into it as well. Yeah, so Instagram...
I am excited to learn about the Pinterest part, so I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, that could be relevant to you as well. Yeah. I don't know who said that. Mr. Diamini, Mrs. Diamini, sorry. The issue with Facebook and Instagram shops is that you cannot sell a service. It has to be a physical product. So that might be why you haven't seen other services doing the same. But I would advise, depending on what the service is, to consider Pinterest. It might be a good platform for you. Sorry. Facebook Marketplace and WhatsApp. Okay, we're not going to talk about marketplaces here because marketplaces on Facebook are quite standard, more or less like your average marketplace. We're going to be talking about Facebook shops and Instagram shops. Anyone else? If you're not using any of these options, it would be great if you'll tell me why not. Is it because you don't know how to, or it's not available, or you never thought of it, or maybe your competitors don't use it? That's usually a good argument. Okay, you can, not everyone is engaging. So if you still want to answer that question, please do that in the chat. And I'm gonna continue. All right. So basically, there are two things that usually people get confused. One, which is social selling, and the other one is social commerce. So the main difference is that social selling, which usually this is what people are doing, which is building interest in products and brands and engaging with prospective customers. So posting on social media, creating events and doing things like that online is a way of social selling. So you are trying to warm your leads before they become your customer. When we talk about social commerce, it's quite different. It's about removing as much friction. As I told you, you're going to hear this word a lot. Removing the friction from the checkout process itself to convert that interest and engagement into sales. Meaning that before, what we used to do, before we had social shops, we used to send the traffic or the interested people or the engaged people to the website that they buy from the website itself. Now, depending on where you are, what is the internet connection, how used people are to paying online, that might make a difference. So sometimes by the time they get to the cart, and by the time they get to adding their payment details to the card, to the checkout process, sometimes it takes 3, 4, 5 clicks, meaning 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And by that time, this is all a possible reason to lose the client along the way. Either they are on their phone sending a line, or for example, sometimes that they don't have their credit card on hand, but they still want to buy the product. So all of these, we call them friction. Now, of course, there are things that are related to how fast your website loads, if the information is all there, all of these details that are related to the content on the website itself. So when social platforms open these shops, the idea was to remove more friction. So instead of them going to a third party, they would buy from the platform itself. They would process the payment there, and they would add, which is very important as well, they would add their personal information. So sometimes when you do that through Facebook and Instagram, because they already know your first name, last name, and email, these are automatically filled. So also that removes the friction from the checkout process. And it facilitates the whole thing. So social selling is about building that engagement, that interest, making people want your product. And social commerce is about removing the friction to get them to buy it, which is two different things. And they both require like different approaches as well. So as I said, social selling is about using social media to sell indirectly. When I say indirectly, and again, if you've seen my sessions before, you know that I insist a lot on this, because we tend to use social media to post our products and post our products only. And this is not the reason why these platforms were created, and it's not why they will stay. So you need to use these platforms to build a community, to create networks, to post about what you stand for, like your values, your unique value proposition, but not necessarily have your products or your the stuff that you sell face front on your social platforms all the time. Actually, that defeats the purpose, because, I mean, people are not going to keep liking your content if it's only, or engaging with your content if it's only a product or sales focus. So the idea with social selling is to, for example, monitor conversations. If there is something that is relevant, participate in the conversation, reply to people's comments. Trust me, most SMEs do not do that. But also posting content that shows off your expertise, your charisma, and your values, who you are as a brand. Because the brand is something, but there are people behind it. And it's important to show that human aspect, so they would know you, they would trust you, and they would understand what you stand for. Also, depend on the industry, maybe in some B2B businesses, sending direct messages to introduce yourself to potential buyers. But the main important aspect here is to lead the conversation with value rather than a sales pitch. So you need to provide them something so that they use it and think of you, or think of you in terms of a potential business relationship to be built. So do not ask them to buy your product. Just tell them indirectly why you are the best at what you do. Now, if we want to take one example here, that's an example of a very boring brand, in a way where they sell cleaning products. Of course, the cleaning products are eco-friendly, so it's not completely boring, but it's somehow boring. So they try to make it a little bit more interesting by providing educational content, by trying to show that they value their communities, they value the environment, and that's why they educate the customers on things that are relevant to their products indirectly. So they do that by things that are very well designed, very light, and not overwhelming with content. So they do that quite frequently, and they do a lot of community engagement, meaning they reply to comments, they participate in the conversation, and this is basically what will increase your organic reach and help this content reach more people. And automatically, when it's educational and it's relevant, people would share it as well. So that goes again within your organic reach too. So that's an example of social selling. If you want to talk about social commerce, as I said, this is to facilitate some or all the parts of the online shopping experience, from the browsing to actually buying. So this goes into adding product information, okay, on content that is featuring the product. So it's not the content. So the content is not a picture of the product; it's featuring the product, and I cannot stress this enough. So you want your product to be, either if you're selling clothes, to be worn by someone, be in context. If, let's say, you're selling some brands that are good for the environment, you want it to be outdoors, people playing, doing some kind of activity to show the feeling that they get from owning your product. But also, this is the type of content that will get the highest engagement. So you want to add the product information on things that are relevant, that has high engagement content. Also, allowing shoppers to look through comments and likes, which is a little bit different than the reviews that you have on your website, so that they get to see how people feel about the product and the brand. And then, of course, buy it in a few taps. We'll see how, if it's properly set up. Also, embedding product links in shoppable content. So when you post your content, you want to have the product linked, so it's easier for people to completely go and buy it immediately. So the idea is, from all of this, to eliminate the gap from again, in my funnel, from the consideration, which is the second level, to the checkout, so the buying process. So this is done with these social media platforms through having the information saved. So sometimes the customer's email, if they buy often on Instagram, they also have their credit card saved or their Apple Pay saved, and the shipping address as well. So that would completely eliminate all of the friction that people get from if they're on the phone, they have to get their credit card, they have to look at the number, turn it, and do all of this. So that would make the process way smoother. And this is exactly what we want in the social commerce approach. So here, that's one example of a very well optimized checkout experience. You will see that the product is available in context. Okay, it's with the bright colors and very attractive for people to stop scrolling when they see it. And it's also tagged. So the product is tagged. Once they click on it, they will go on the Instagram shop itself with the product and the product information. And I think below what that there is a description and a button that says checkout on Instagram. So they don't have to go to a third party, and they can complete the purchase here. They select their shipping method, and the payment is already put because they've obviously paid before. So all of this is done without leaving Instagram. And as much as I can tell you, this will increase your sales and generate a higher return on investment. Trust me, you will not understand the impact that it does until you do it. Okay, so it's about just streamlining the process and avoiding losing any customers or potential customers along the way. Now, there's something here that I've worked a lot with SMEs, and to be very honest with you, most, if not 99% of small businesses do not do either social commerce or social selling. Because social selling requires that approach that we need to build a community, we need to create engagement, we need to educate and provide value before we ask people to buy from us. And honestly, like sometimes big brands as well do not do that. So, so somehow people are stuck in the middle. And when it comes to social commerce, usually there's barely any information available about the product. As I mentioned in today's example that I told you about in the beginning, I mean, they promote something that's not even available in the collection. And even if I was going to buy it, I'm not going to buy it anymore from them, just because, I mean, it's not my job to go and look for all of this stuff for me to buy something. It's your job, because I can have an array of options that I can choose from to buy that. I think it was a suit from any other store. You have to prove to me or show me that my time and my money is valuable to you. It is business's responsibility to facilitate all of the process from awareness to conversion for the clients, and it's not the other way around. Again, posting products, posting the images of your product maybe in a white background is not going to cut it anymore. You need to go the extra mile to try and get people to notice your content. We're way before buying your product, but you want them to just notice it. And it's going to become harder and harder with more people joining these platforms and more content being created. And unless you do something outside of your normal content marketing, you're going to keep struggling to get organic or even paid engagement at time. So, so yeah, that was my small dose of reality check. So that brings us to the social landscape. How is social commerce going to look like in the next years? So basically, as I said, as you can imagine, the share of sales being done through social media platforms is going to keep on increasing. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's in billions or millions or trillions. It just for us to see that there's a trajectory of growth that is going to significantly make a jump in 2026. So of course, this is something that probably would have been estimated lower before COVID. Now, many people they were forced to digitize their shopping experience just because they didn't have any other choice. So you don't want to get to that point to start using social media, social commerce, or even e-commerce as well. Now, depending on which business or what is the industry that you are into, it differs in terms of how much brands use social commerce. So you have basically the biggest one is personal and beauty care, followed by everything that's clothing and accessories. But you also have a lot of home brands, home products brands, health supplements, F&B. So you'll see that the other section is like the smallest one, and it includes everything else. So it would make sense that, for example, you are in the fashion industry, that you focus more on social commerce. But trust me, if this is the way we're going, everyone's going to be buying everything on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest and so on. So you're either joining at the right time, or you want to get ahead of the curve, which is always the best thing to do. Now, the top social media commerce platforms in terms of size are still Facebook, followed by Instagram. And TikTok is very fast, catching up very fast to the rest of the platforms. And as you can see, we have Pinterest at the bottom. It's not because it's less important, it's just because it's mostly used in the US market. I see someone is not muted and I can hear the background. If you can please mute yourself, it would be great. Not sure who it is. Sorry, I have to admit someone. Okay. Elvira, is that you?
No.
Okay. Oh, weird.
Oh,
okay, it's gone.
muted.
Thanks. So we're going to talk about how to set up Facebook and Instagram shops. I just want to send you the link. Please save it, because after the session, the chat will disappear. So that's the link that it takes you through a step-by-step process on how to set up, and it has all of the details in terms if you can open or not open the business in that country. Okay, just looking through your comments. All right. Let's go back. So as I said, I'm not going to go through the step-by-step. This way, this link is very helpful. I thought it was useless for me to repeat the same process, but I want you to think about 3 checkout options you have with Facebook and Instagram. Okay, 3 checkout options have different friction levels. So you know exactly what I mean with friction now. The first option is to check out on another website. So that could be either you can send customers to your website or to a third party. So a third party can be Amazon, or can be a marketplace that you have listed your products on. So the trick here that the products that you have are linked to the product page on the website. So it's not that they would click on your product and go land on your main page on the website or on the third party. So that's very, very important, because before they used to have like a lot of issues with people redirecting customers, and they would land on the main page and then have to look for the product again, and eventually it gets frustrating. So these are linked, and it just takes it from Instagram to the website product page. So this way they can browse your shop on Facebook and then complete or make the purchase on your site, which is relatively easy. Second option that you can choose while setting up your shop is to check out with Facebook or Instagram. This is by far the ideal way. Then again, that's only possible depending on where you are located as a business and where you are selling your products. So, so this way you can process payments in the app, like the example I showed you. It's a seamless experience, and it has the least friction possible. But also it gives you access to live shopping, which is you can launch or you can go live and do shopping features, you know, like they used to do on TV before, and product launches, and engage with customers directly and immediately get them to buy your product. If you have like a special discount or early bird, you can announce it during that live shopping feature as well. And the third one, which is the worst in terms of friction, which is to process the payment via Facebook Messenger, which is, again, a separate platform, or WhatsApp. Now, here, what people usually do is that they send payment links on these platforms. So they tell you, okay, I want that product. And then either you tell them, okay, cash on delivery, and then when it's delivered, they pay, or you can send them customized payment links if you don't have a payment gateway. Okay, so as you can imagine, this creates the most friction because it adds more and more layer, and they still have to go to another platform, and then the link sends them somewhere else. So it becomes even more complicated as well. So as you can imagine, my recommendation would be to go for option 2, but then if you can't do that, option 1 is still the best you can do. So after that, they will ask you to set up shipping and returns. This is basically if you use option number 2, which is the checkout with Facebook or Instagram. So you need to configure a shipping setup. You have 3 options. You have standard, expedited, and rush. So each one, they have a different delivery window and, of course, different prices, which you have to set for each. And they force you to have a return window of at least 30 days. So if you cannot guarantee that you'll still be willing to return the products in 30 days, of course, you have you add your conditions for the return, definitely. But if it's something that spoils, for example, that's not something that you can accept as a return policy. Also, add customer service contact information. So in case people have any question, you need to do that in the setup process, so they know who to contact. Now, if you have like big catalog or collection of products, there are tools within Facebook and Instagram that lets you upload that more easily, which is what they call data feed, or it's basically a link to a spreadsheet in a format that works for them, so that you can manage. It saves on Google Sheet, but you can manage your inventory. So if you have a physical shop or you have a different shop and you want to coordinate the inventory and make sure you don't sell products that are out of stock, you do that and you upload it. So you update it often, and then you can coordinate all your inventory at once. Also, as an option on Facebook and Instagram shops, you can use collections. So you can categorize the products in different categories so that it makes the shopping experience better. And this is something I noticed, at least with many SMEs, Lebanese SMEs, they don't do that. So they have all of the products in under one page, and you can really find easily what you're looking for. So if you want to buy a shirt, you have to go through the whole collection to look at the options that they have available. So in that theoretical scenario, we have set up the Facebook, Instagram shop, and everything is uploaded and it's going well. Now it's time to create content that helps people want these products, which is probably the hardest part. So basically what you want to do is to have a shoppable experience with minimum friction. So you don't want people to send you a private message to ask you if this product is still available, if you have it in that size, if you have it in different colors. So you want to, and trust me, again, I'm not saying that because it's evident. I'm saying that because many people do not do that. So you want to upload the sizes, the colors, the detailed information, including the fabric, what is it made of, if you want to include a size chart. All of these details will make the experience for shoppers much more easy. And of course, you don't want, the idea is to optimize your store and make it run on its own. So you don't have to do much except maybe add new collection, update the products and do things like that. But you want people to shop even when you can't answer them. So you want to add all of the information available. You can also set turn customer service into sales on Messenger. So basically, maybe you have experienced this before, but you have it with, I don't know, usually telecom companies or sometimes airlines, they use it the most, but you have like an automated bot that's talking to you on Facebook Messenger. So that will help you if you have like a certain FAQ questions that come often, you can add them as automated. So it will remove a little bit of work from your customer support, or even if it's you who do it, takes a lot of as well. So and it facilitates also the process from a consideration to conversion. So you can include product recommendation. You can have like pre-written replies. We're going to see an example now. You can send discount codes. And you can also create an order or request payment through Facebook Pay directly within the chat. So all you need to do is just set up the configuration. So it looks something like this. People clicked on the button to send you a message. It starts like this. Hi there. This is all operational on its own. So you only set up these messages and it answers on its own. Hi there, thanks for reaching out. You are messaging our chatbot. Please click on one of the options below so you can better assist you. So you have my order, if someone is asking about the status of their order, return and shipping policy. FAQ here, they're sending a face mask, so it was especially relevant for that. But if they still want to get in touch with a human, they can still click on it here. And then for every question, there is an automated response that takes them, and of course, always the option to go back to an actual human support. So that will facilitate and remove a lot of time wasted by answering standard questions. Most likely the answer is always available somewhere, but as I said, people do not want to look for that, and it shouldn't be their role to do so. Another thing that you want to consider to try and make this a more seamless experience is to tag products within your content to make them shoppable. Did I just do this? So this way, for example, that was a product launch here on Sephora, and it's a product. Okay, someone is playing. It's a video that announces the launch of, I think these are soaps. So it was a collaboration with some known celebrity, I wouldn't know, to launch. So basically they tag the product within the video, and when you click on the product tag, you have the carousel that comes here offering the different products that are available from this brand. So that was, again, a very seamless experience to get people from seeing the product in action, seeing the product with the celebrity, the brand ambassador or whatever, and then directly to complete the shopping experience. And that's a video that just moves 2-3 seconds. It's not basically a big production, just something that probably recorded and just animated a little bit. Sorry for the mess. Anyways, the idea is when you tag products to make them shoppable, businesses have seen an increase of 37%, like 37% more sales on average than businesses who did not tag product in their feed. So it looks something like just like that. And you have the products. If you have different products, you can tag more than one with the price available, and they click on it and go to it, and it go to the store, the Instagram store, and they buy it from there. And you can do the same with reels and product launches and videos, which again makes the process a whole lot easier. Now, of course, product tags are very interesting for you, but Instagram has recently announced that they're expanding product tags, and they are available for other people, so other accounts to tag you, which means if you want to collaborate with influencers, creators, or affiliates and customers, they can tag you in these products and get people to become more aware about your products so they can buy it. You can also do promotional offers, so you can do discounts. It's not only that people will buy your products, but you can also do discounts on the platform. So if you have, for example, a Christmas discount, or I don't know, an end of year, or whatever it is, you can also do the whole campaign, and the discount is offered on Instagram. Sometimes you want to do like Instagram only campaign that will also work this way. So you can increase or try to test, for example, different campaigns on Instagram and see if they generate more sales than if you do it on the website. That's always a very interesting question. Han? Sorry. I'm pretty sure whoever is doing that has no idea. Elvira?
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to disable it, but
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Is that a whiteboard option?
I think no. There's another option, so I will need to check in the main settings. But now from here, we cannot do any changes, unfortunately.
Okay.
So please, guys, if anyone is trying to do any editing on the screen, if you can stop, that will be great.
Yeah, and I apologize for everyone else. I'm not able to remove it anyway. So, okay. So, sorry, I just muted myself and I had no idea. So thank you, Elvira. It seems to have been resolved. Let's see if anyone has questions in the meantime. Yeah, thank you, Martin. I noticed that I was speaking on my own. Okay, so that brings us to, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So that brings us to the part which is advertising. Okay, there are many options to advertise on Facebook, but they've created recently ads that are, recently, specifically designed for e-commerce website, either e-commerce or social shops as well. So depending on the ads manager you have, because everyone has different layouts and formats of that. So they're either called dynamic ads or Advantage Plus catalog ads, or sometimes conversion ads. So if you have any of either of these, usually they are in the conversion section of the type of ads you have. But it all means probably the same thing, more or less the same thing, depending on if you have a third party, so an e-commerce website, or you have a social shop. So dynamic ads are really very interesting, especially if you have a large volume of products or you have different categories. So if you sell shoes, clothes, hats, tools, accessories, that would be very interesting. And you'll see in a few minutes why. So dynamic ads, what they do is that you use machine learning to help you scale your ads when you have like a big volume of products or range of products. So instead of you creating an ad for the yellow shoes and then another ad for the blue shoes and another ad for the red shoes, you can let dynamic ads do that for you without you having to worry or set up all of this, which is very interesting. Now they have also another interesting feature, which is that's why they are called dynamic ads. They can automatically deliver your products to people based on what they're looking for. So let's say, I'm going to give you an example in a few minutes. But if you look at the image here, this person is, for example, browsing on Facebook shoes or different products, and then these dynamic ads automatically associate her intent with the fact that she's looking for shoes, and it will automatically show her the shoes that you have available. So you are really tapping into something that's very important, because usually this is something we used to do only with Google search. So if people are looking on Facebook for products that you have in your portfolio or in your catalog, and you have set up dynamic ads, it will automatically show them the product. So this is some way you can automate a lot of this advertising work without you having to compromise on anything. Guys, again, someone is not muted. All right. So that's why whenever someone expresses a certain interest in something you have available, it's done automatically, and something that can really take a lot of work from your team or yourself. So it removes the burden of creating individual ads for each and every item you sell. You cannot understand how much that would be cumbersome if you have a lot of products. You create one campaign that drives sales, but it uses that personalized user-level recommendation for products in your catalog. So you do it once, and then you let it work on its own. So you can use any of the format you have available, like images, carousel, stories, or collection ads. You only have to link it to your product catalog, and it does this on an automatic level. So you have, you can, for example, if you have an app or an app that you sell your products on the app itself, you can do that as well through that. So two ways people use dynamic ads. One, they use it for broad audiences. So for example, as the example I've just given you, someone is browsing for shoes on Facebook, and then you have shoes in your product catalog. They can see ads for your shoes automatically. Or the other thing that people use dynamic ads for is for retargeting consumer. So let's say people landed on your website, they've seen a product, a specific product, but they did not complete the purchase, or they left after seeing it immediately. You can still create automatic dynamic ads to show them the exact product that they were seeing on the website. Okay, so this is very good, because that means that one person was very advanced and the consideration level. They already wanted the product, but for some reason did not complete it. So it's a low-hanging fruit, if you want, and retargeting these people is way easier or way better for a return on investment than actually targeting new audiences as well. So that's very relevant for e-commerce. So as I said, dynamic ads, or whatever a different naming convention you have, is interesting because it's personalized. So depending on what people are looking for, or if they've shown an interest in one product on your website, it's just customized to their search or interest. It's always on. You launch it once, and you only do accept optimize. For example, if a product is not showing any kind of interest or generating any kind of sales, you can stop it. You can use it for retargeting, which is something very, very good to really capture all of the clients on the way to the conversion. Find new shoppers. If people are looking for a product that you have, you'll place your ad in front of their eyes. and show them why they need to buy from you. And it also, which is something that most people don't talk about, it also shows up. So your products start showing up in organic consideration. So people, if organically on Instagram, you have the shop section, your product will start showing there as well. The only thing you need to think about before creating dynamic ads is you have to have your catalog uploaded with all of the items that you have either on your Facebook shop or on your website. So that has to be updated and has to be connected with your website. So it's always updated. And you have to connect the Facebook pixel. So the Facebook pixel is a piece of code that you have installed on the website that can track people after they leave Facebook and go to your website. So you can use it for retargeting, and you can use it to make sure, or at least to track how much people from these ads are turning into customers. So that helps Facebook know that they've been doing a good job, and they will be able to do to find more people like the ones that have been converted. I'm gonna stop here for a minute to try and see if you guys have any questions. The link to what exactly? Yeah, that's the one. Thank you, Martin. All right, I see no questions. Anyone want to comment on things so far, or it's all going good? All right, do you like my my gifts? All right, thanks, Martin. I mean, I was enjoying doing this webinar so much, and my favorite one is the one with in the beginning, like boy for sale, boy for sale. I thought that was hilarious. So I hope you're enjoying it too. So let's basically talk about brands that are using social shopping successfully. It's not letting me leave. I want to send you the link for, as I said, I'm going to open it here just to show you, but also send it on the chat. The reason why I like this is because it's very, very inspiring. So here you have case studies by Instagram on the different brands that they have. And you can really Google, Instagram, not Google. You can search by industry, by goal, if it's driving online sales in store, or just a brand awareness, the type of product that they've used on Instagram, so type of service or solution they have, which region, and the business size. So let's say we take, I don't know, education, drive online sales, and you have Babbel, an example of Babbel and how they use Instagram to grow their sales. So you'll get the description and the numbers, how much they were able to improve their either cost per lead or to generate sales. So that's very interesting. I'll leave you to enjoy some of these examples on your own, but I have a few that I added here. One second. All right. So basically, I mean, I have two fashion brands just because, I mean, these are the brands that are most successful on Instagram shops. So Soludus is a shoe and clothing brand. They use Instagram shop. Of course, they've uploaded a product catalog. So it looks something like this. I'm pretty sure you've seen some examples of shops on Instagram. But what I really like about their store is that they not only have product images, like with a white background, they have them with different styles, so white pants, jeans, and they use it in context, which is always more appealing for people to imagine how the product would look like than just seeing them on a white background. So of course, all of the products have each detailed page, but they also use very cute and like interesting photos, like you can see here. They use a dog, which is by far the best recommendation I can give to you to promote your products. So so they use fun stuff to show their brand image, if you want. So it's not only about promoting the product, but also showing who they are as a brand, which is more or less fresh, inspiring, and youngish, if you want. So here you'll notice that product is also tagged. So if I see this, I can automatically click on the tag and just go buy the product. But what they also do, which is very good, is that they feature their customers on their tagged post page. So it's not only that they share the tagged post on stories, but they show them on the tagged page to increase that connection with the customer. They also do the same on stories, and even on stories tag their product. I know the picture is not very visual, but just wanted to show you that they tag the individual product, and they have a consistent style that they do for all the stories. Another brand here that I thought was important is Anthropology. So basically what I wanted to highlight that's different than Soludos is they have collections. They've set up collection on their Instagram shops. But also what's very interesting is that they use very nice, they name the collection in a very appealing way. So a journey back to you. So it's not like summer collection or shorts. It's something that speaks to the lifestyle of the brand and the lifestyle of their target audience, and this is it's very appealing because you resonate with that more than just summer 2023. They also post their products in feed, so that's a feed picture. The product is tagged, but you will see that the model is outdoors. She's really living the Anthropology lifestyle and not only just showing the product within a studio. So this is very inspirational for people to imagine how it will feel like wearing the clothes and living the lifestyle that comes with it. They also do shoppable reels and videos. So here, basically, what is interesting in what they do is that they don't focus on the product at all, but on an activity that sometimes not really necessarily relevant to the product. So it's only clothes, but it's relevant to the lifestyle of their target audience and their brand values. So it could be things like cooking or exercising, featuring the Anthropology clothes. And one last thing when it comes to that example is they use dreamy images in stories that really makes you feel like really buying the product, whatever it is. So that's it makes me really miss the winter, although I hate winter. But this is just to tell you how much and their images are. They make you travel in that way, so you feel like you've went somewhere else. So that brings us to the last section from this. I'm going to go through that. It's quite long, but I think we have some time to cover it, which is basically selling on Pinterest. So it's a very underestimated platform, okay? But it is a shopper's best friend. So people, and I'm sure most of you do that if you had to do any of these activities before, which is like plan a wedding, do home decor, look for gifts or recipes or things like that. You always go to think about Pinterest first. Sometimes Google is not, Pinterest is way better than Google in that. A very important thing to note here is that it's a big platform, but 50% of pinners, as they call them, live outside of the US. So 50% in the US and 50% everywhere else. So it really depends on who your customers are. You might want to consider Pinterest as a platform or not. So as I said, the US has around 50%, but you have like second is only 8%, which is Brazil, India 3%, China 2%, and Argentina 2%. So as I said, you have like majority in the US, and everywhere else is 50%. And as you can imagine, the highest gender on the platform is mainly female. So you have over 75% females on the platform. And of course, it's just because it's visual, it's colorful. You have very specific types of brands that would fit in on the platform as well. So why most people don't succeed on Pinterest is that they forget that this is basically a search engine. So it's exactly like Google, but it's more of a visual search engine. So people will find visual results, but they will search with words. So for you to be able to rank higher on Pinterest, you need to optimize your keywords. So 2 out of 3 users turn to Pinterest to search. 97% of the searches are not brand related. So sometimes they're just looking for something. 50%, as I said, US users shop on Pinterest. 9 in 10 users are on Pinterest to plan purchases. So sometimes before you make a decision to, plan your wedding, you look for the options and then you go to the florist and you tell them, this is what I want. So it's important to be there at the awareness level as well. And 85% of users have bought something based on pins from brand. So this is very important because, as I said, it's a very visual platform and it combines a search engine. So it really has everything in one platform. So what you can do is basically the same as Facebook and Instagram, which is add a shop tab. And you have to be verified as a verified merchant on Pinterest, so you can have that blue check mark and gain trust, and of course get organic search results. So that's an example of Sukoshi Mart. They have a very nice, very well optimized shop on Pinterest. People repin their content, which generates awareness and organic reach. And also the products are sold on the platform directly on Pinterest, and it's all done organically. So because it's very niche as a platform, you don't really have to do ads. You can if you want, but it's not as popular as the other platforms. So to really succeed at it, you really need to invest time and effort in the visuals that you create. You need to have high quality photography. If you do graphics, it needs to be beautifully designed. You need to have the proper sizes, to use bold colors and fonts so it stands out, and really use things that are close to or matching your brand. So it creates that level of awareness in people's subconscious. So you can see here an example how the professional pictures taken by a photographer stand out compared to, for example, this one. So it's, as I said, it's very visual, so people will spot immediately the one that stands out. You can also do design stuff. So for example, here it's a service-based client that is on Pinterest, but they've designed like a quiz, and they've used Pinterest to promote it, and it's within the same brand with the fonts and the colors of the brands itself. So that would work, for example, as a service-based platform. Or you can do a mix of both. So you have professional pictures and product-related information within the same pin. And that's basically between both. So we've talked also about SEO. It's basically the approach of it is different than the one that you have on Google search. So on Pinterest, you have a different set of rules. You want to use your industry keywords in terms of what people might search for. You don't want to use your brand name and stuff, because if you're not an brand awareness level that people would search for your brand, you don't want to use it as a keyword. So you want to add these keywords to the titles, the description, to the board title, and their description as well. But similarly to Google, you don't want to overstuff keywords. So you don't want to add things that are not really relevant, or things that are just one word after the other. You want to create sentences that flow, that make sense in the context, and do not feel stuffed. So all of this is an effort to increase reach of your content. Another thing that is available on Pinterest is what they call rich pins. So this is a little bit like the catalog on Facebook. It's you connect your store to your Pinterest account, and it's automatically populate pins from the data that you have available on your website. So you'll see here, you have the name. I mean, I don't recommend to have this as a title, because gold-filled wrap ring, wrapped gold ring, gold stack ring. I mean, it just it feels very stuffy as an example of stuffed keywords, but it's linked to an Etsy website. It has the price of the product and the description here. So, and it's done automatically. And if you're accessing Pinterest from mobile, you have a shop button that shows here, which people can automatically go to the website link and buy the product. So also one other option that you have on Pinterest is to organize your products in catalog. So it's very similar to Facebook and Instagram, and it's also used through a data source, like an Excel sheet with the products that you upload, and it automatically creates these product pins that you can after use in, as you can imagine, shopping ads, Pinterest shopping ads. So if you don't have you don't have data sources to create catalogs, you can instead do rich pins instead. But these are two options that are available for on Pinterest shopping. Again, similarly to everything else, you can tag products in the pins. You can show different product shots. You can have outfits of your latest collection, and you can pin it so people would buy it as well automatically through Pinterest itself. And finally, Pinterest ads basically works the same as all of the other platforms. You have two types, which is shopping ads. This is an example here. You will see that it mentions promoted by, and you have the name of the brand itself. That's a shopping ad. And you have another option, which is collection ads that shows on mobile. And when you tap it, it will open a browsable collection of products, a little bit like the carousel we have on Facebook. You see here that they haven't reinvented the wheel. It's basically the same. It just, it has a different target audience, works for different brands, and it's more organic than the rest of the platform. So that brings me to my last few words. I feel like I've talked a lot. A few reminders on things that we've discussed today. Basically, social selling is about conversations, building relationships, and showing your values. It's not about posting your products. Social commerce is about removing the friction to help facilitate the journey from consideration to purchase. So friction should be on your mind when you do social commerce. Now, of course, there are all good platforms, whether we're talking about Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, or even TikTok. It only makes a difference depending on what are you selling and who your audience is. But really, I feel like I always go back to the same thing. To succeed at either social selling or social commerce or e-commerce or social media, full stop, you really need to work on your content marketing, really go in depth into understanding the shopper's journey and facilitate the process from consideration to conversion. It's the only way, by showing your brand personality, who you are, what you stand for, who are your customers, your tone of voice, and highlighting your value. This is how you sell your products on social media. What I've shown you today is just the technical aspect. You can still succeed at the technical aspect, but if you don't really create content that engages people, you will not be maximizing your real value from using all of these platforms to sell. That's it for me. I'm gonna stop sharing and welcome any questions, or if Elvira, you want to send out the poll.
Yes, actually, I will run the poll. Meanwhile,
Alright.
please add your questions to the chat or unmute yourself and ask directly your questions to Jennifer. I think it will be a good opportunity to have this discussion with her today. So if you have anything or you would like to know more details, please feel free to unmute and ask Jennifer directly.
And yes, please complete the poll, right?
Yes, indeed.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you very much for the great session. I think
Hi,
just a
Dan.
bit of feedback.
Yeah.
Just some feedback from my side. I think great session. One of the challenges I still struggle with is having that divide. You know, I look at this final thoughts point you made around social selling, being around the conversion, building relationships, and showing values. Now, I really struggle to draw the line between showing the brand values and, you know, having that divide versus doing product selling. So sometimes I just find it difficult to distinguish between demonstrating the values of the organization versus the products.
So you're struggling, and you do more of which of these two? So you go more into products or more into showing the values?
More into products.
Yeah, I mean, this is
more into products. I think even
yeah.
where I am trying to show the values, I still
Mhm.
somehow come back to the product. So I kind of struggle to see how to focus on the values without bringing in products.
I mean, you can still include the product. It doesn't have to have to be so clear cut. But the way we usually do this, or the way we work, is that we create content themes. So we say, like, for this month, we are going to focus on, I don't know, sustainability education. We're going to focus on Q&A, ask people what are the problems that they're having with our product. We're gonna, depending on who your target audience, you know, we've created the audience persona. They have different interests. So we put a list of themes that we want to tackle this month. And some of them can completely be irrelevant to the brand itself. It just speaks to the customer. So, and we do, let's say, okay, we're gonna cover 4 posts a week. One will be under each theme, and that's it. Sometimes it could be just one product within the week, or sometimes no products at all. But if you remember from the example of Blue Land, what they are really focusing on is educating people on what are microplastic residues, for example. It has nothing to do with that. Just speaks to their target audience. Most likely their audience is eco-friendly, environmental people that really care about this decision. So so it just speaks to their other interests. That's it, and speak about who they are. So it could be educational series, it could be engaging stuff, like things asking them, like, I don't know, which brand of tomatoes you prefer, or which one do you buy, are you buying this season? Something so general like that. It doesn't have to be an elaborate post. Did that answer your question?
Thank you. Yes, it does answer. Thanks.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit hard in the beginning, but you'll get into the habit of it. Yeah, the Kim, the recording will be available on Ecom Connect after this session. So you'll visit the same page as you did in the beginning to register, and you'll have it there. Esther is saying that, okay, selling wings on Instagram, and I want to know how I can get more views on my page. I mean, the general recommendations I would give you is, as I said, to create content that adds value to your target audience. So depending on what kind of wigs do you sell, if it's for not artists, actors, sorry, can't find my words, or it's more a hair-like style wigs, you can really create different personas and show them in their actual lifestyle wearing these wigs and how would they go about their day-to-day activities. Or you can pick some of your customers and just follow them in their lifestyle and take pictures from them. Or you can provide educational stuff about how to take care of a wig, so that I'm really very far from the topic itself. How to take care of it so it remains in good quality, or how to style it, for example. Different things that are sometimes relevant to the target audience itself and not to the product at times. So yeah, you need to just provide content that adds value. So people will share it, will save it, and will come back to it often. Yes, Nishant, you can sell products across borders via these social media platforms, but the link I sent in the beginning would tell you if shops are available in your country and where you can sell your products as well. So it's basically the same as payment gateways and on e-commerce. I'll share. Yes, let me share the link. Yeah, the first one, which is, someone can send it. Yeah, the Social Examiner link. But you can try launching the shop or setting up the shop, and it tells you if it's available. I know for Lebanese shops, it was available, and then they removed it recently. So, so yeah, that might change depending on the countries. Sure. Any other questions? I mean, that's the main reason why I didn't want to go through the step-by-step setup. I didn't know if it was available in your country or not. So I thought this was the best way to do the best of both worlds. All right. I think, Elvira, is everything good with the poll?
Yes, all is good.
All right. I think I'm done. If no one else has anything else, I'll see you. Do you recommend, sorry, there's one more question. Do you recommend at this point integrating chatbot in e-commerce portals? What's your industry, Jeremy? Services, okay. So depending on what you sell, so if you sell something that has a very high price point, it might be interesting to have automated chatbots to answer your most frequent questions, or to, for example, get in touch with you. Like if they don't have the answer, they can get in touch with you. But the easiest ways to answer this is to look for your competitors, if they have that or not. If there's just one that does, I would recommend you do that, because that means that there is a reason. Plus, it's not such a very complicated integration. So, and it's not very pricey. You can find solutions that are quite cheap. So it's not like the decision to do the investment is a very difficult one. Wow, can we use Telegram as a shopping platform? I don't know many people who do that, but I mean, it doesn't have payment options or delivery option, but if it's just about sending out links or engaging in communities with people that are within your target audience, you can do that. I don't see why not, but It's not a shopping platform by itself. Advertise products via Facebook. There is a fee is needed. Yeah, advertising products. If you're talking about paid advertising, yeah, that's gonna require a budget. But I don't think there is any way around advertising. Basically, you barely reach anyone if you don't advertise. So I understand it requires money, but I mean, it's become part of a good social media strategy to have an advertising budget. Last call. Last call on questions. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Sold. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate your energy every time.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you for the session. I think there were a lot of information.
Yeah.
I will add the recording later on under the event. So guys, you can go and check the session again. And if you have any questions, you can add under the recording or just send a direct message to Jennifer. She's available on the platform. Also, if you are already connected via LinkedIn, maybe you can share some of your work or what you are doing, the progress. I'm sure she will be happy to see some results. And let us know if you would like to have additional sessions. So maybe if Jennifer will be available later on, we can plan for something end of this year. So share with us your comments, your suggestions, and we will see how we can organize additional sessions with Jennifer.
Anytime.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you.
See you soon.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.